What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm going to be creating 6 different email campaigns in just a few minutes. And those 6 different campaigns are going to have 2 variations, totaling 12 different emails. And why this is relevant is because my go-to-market strategy for any new clients I onboard requires me to create 26 different emails. And so if I were to onboard 4 clients in a week, I would have to create 96 different email variations, which is an insane amount of work. But I've operationalized that using AI and these different automations right here. And we're going to be basically creating these campaigns from scratch right away. So let's dive in. So the first thing we need to have is a client database, which has the client value prop, company overview, customer pain points. Where we get these from is in a clay table that looks something like this. So we can put the company website, company name, and then use the clay enrichment to enrich the company, find the value proposition, pain points, all of that stuff automatically using clay. We can also use Claygent to scrape the company website, but that's not the point of this video. We want to create 6 emails right now. So we've got all of this information that is inside the onboarding automation. But for now, we go to the modify company overview. So the onboarding automation has already happened. It's already created these value props, all this stuff here. And so now we are in the modify company overview stage. And what I need to do is I need to analyze the value prop to make sure that it's accurate. If I've learned anything about the client since then, I can modify that. And customer pain points, I modify all of this stuff until it all makes sense. Once it looks good to me and we are ready to go, I simply need to click on this next status, which is create email campaigns. And so that is going to trigger this automation right here, which is going to create email campaigns within our ClickUp account. And so when we go back to the campaign section, we're currently creating a bunch of campaigns. So campaign 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what I mentioned, right? We're going to create 6 campaigns. And by the way, it works perfectly with how we've structured our go-to-market strategy, right? So now we are going to get assigned comments. And so the assigned comment says choose campaign playbook, and it's the same for every single task. So choose campaign playbook, that's the assigned comment. So that's what we need to do for all of these. And so I've got a few playbooks right here, but when you check the playbook section, this is how I've structured playbooks. And what a playbook is basically how an email is going to be structured. And so right here, I've called this Apollo sequence playbook. And this is the prompt that I'm using to create an Apollo sequence playbook. And so we've got all of this information right here. And then email 2, I've created it to look like this. Why this is relevant is because when you create an AI assisted Apollo prompt, it looks something like this, where we've got hi first name, AI personalized opener. Same thing here. We've got right? Hi first name, text personalization, right? And then we've got all of this other information. And then the second follow-up email looks something like that. And by the way, the pain points, the value proposition, the company overview, that was all sourced from how Apollo does its thing. But now is where it gets really cool because I can have 50 playbooks, like literally 50 playbooks with different sequences. And it doesn't end there because I can also add statistics. So I can link back the statistics for each of these playbooks to see how they're performing and all of that other stuff. So anyways, that's the main thing. So we've got the playbooks and now we're going to create the copy. So assign comment, choose campaign playbook. We're going to choose all of them the Apollo sequence for now. Think of this as if we're choosing different playbooks because that's most likely what I would be doing. I would not be using the same playbook. But as you've seen, I only have the Apollo playbook for now. So let's just use this for now. From here, all I need to do is I need to simply move these to this next status, which is generate campaign copy. When I do that, it's going to go over to this sequence right here, which is going to run a webhook, get the campaign, get the client, get the playbook. And using all of this information, we're going to draft up an email, another email, a subject line, and we're going to send all of that information right back into our ClickUp account. And so we've just changed the names over here. I will probably modify that a little bit later, but let's refresh it a second. So now we've got the subject lines, right? which are spin text, which is what I put in my prompt, create spin text subject lines. But I definitely need to modify like the prompts, right? Because they're not perfect. But the idea is still the same, right? We've created an email that looks very similar to what Apollo created. When we generate a new email sequence over here, it's very similar, right? We've created something like that, and we've customized it to our specific client. And so, as I did mention, every single client is going to have a value prop, company overview, pain point, which is all going to be pulled automatically using this clay table. So now that's just a few seconds of work. Like you see here, we've got a mistake over here. So that's like what I need to be optimizing, right? I need to be changing the prompts to work perfectly. And so this is what the emails look like. Now we move on to the next step, which is generate copy spin tags. And from here, this is going to send it over to this automation right here, which is going to get the campaign, get the email, and then create the spin tags for those emails. And I'll probably add another step over here, which is create email variations. And so email one, analyze email one, and then create email. Yeah, you know what? I should do it right now. So just duplicate this, and then I'm gonna call this email one v2, and then I'll work on this later. So email one v2. I'll work on this later. And so that's going to be another step, right? So probably in between these first two, which is like just create the variations. And so now we've created the spin tags, but as I did mention, the prompts are still not done, so it makes mistakes like this. It should not be making anything over here. But over here it's fine, and then over here, cool. And going back to the prompt, so this the spin tags, like this is the prompt that I used. It's literally so basic, right? So I need to actually like modify that. Cool. So we are here. We've got the campaigns created. Now all we need to do is follow up the next step. Add campaign to Smart Lead. And by the way, I'm spending time explaining these things, right? If I was actually doing this without spending time explaining, like this would be a really quick process. Actually, maybe I can modify it because I'm also getting assigned comments, right? Which is modify campaign copy, because the spin tax is not always going to be perfect. So you might want to modify this to work well. So anyways, we go back to this. This is what the previous campaigns look like. And I'm actually realizing we might not have actually, yeah, we need to go back here. 9. Oh my God, this is not gonna be good. Right, because it's already like, yeah, on that note, I'm gonna delete all of these old ones. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've just moved the statuses back to create copy spin tags, and then now I'm going to move them ahead. The reason I was getting an error is because I had other things inside the queue that I never took care of. And so we go back to the automation that we were in, which is send campaign copy to Smart Lead. We go to campaigns, we add campaign to Smart Lead, and from here it's going to trigger this automation. Why do I keep losing it? This automation right here. Oh, we need to process old data, and then we need to go back. So there you go. Now it's working. So we're creating the campaign, updating the schedule, the general settings, we're putting the email sequence, and then we're changing the status. So when we go back here, now the next status is already moved there. We need to export and import a list. And we just do that. And it's literally as simple. We look at the assigned comments. Isn't there another assigned comment? I think there's another one. Anyways, doesn't matter. We need to build a list. And when we build a list, we simply need to import it into our campaign. But that's basically it, right? So let's refresh the page. This is what we had previously. Let's refresh the page. And when we come back here, we've got 6 different campaigns. And remember, I'm using Apollo sequence, Apollo sequence, Apollo sequence, Apollo sequence. Normally, I would probably have different campaigns with different playbooks, but I only have the Apollo sequence right now, so that's all we've used. But it's normally not going to look like this. And so let's go ahead and click edit on one of these sequences that just got created. Actually, this one is still working. it looks like it's still being worked on with the automation because it says 0 sequences, right? So it's still pending, but these ones are already done. So 2 sequences, let's go in here. So we've got the subject line, we've got the body, which is spin text incorrectly. Like I said, the prompt, I just need to refine that prompt. And then we've got the follow-up message with all of that. And all of these variations are the same, but as I did mention, I'm probably going to have a V2 like this, where it allows me to just focus, build variations and things like that. And so that's everything, right? So we've created all of these campaigns, and all of these campaigns are going to be unique. They're all going to be done. And all I need to do is literally just build a list. It's done. It's literally done. I need to just build a list, follow the playbook instructions. All of the playbooks are going to have different instructions and different clade tables. And so when we go over to campaign playbooks, the Apollo sequence looks something like this, where I basically need to add leads to this account and use AI to generate first line, and then finally add them to the campaign. So that's everything. That's everything. I just created 6 campaigns in a few minutes, and yeah, that would have taken me an insane amount of time. Hope this was useful. If you guys enjoyed this, leave a like, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Cheers.